My name is Molly Gothic, and let's do an art thing, recycling cardboard edition. If you're new here, what I like to do is a bunch of different artsy things, and today I'm going to turn cardboard into cardboard in a different shape. So we have two cats, and I want to introduce them in a very fun way.
First up, the stabbiest, the cuddliest little diesel engine you've ever met. Empty laps hate to see him coming. Loud walking terrifies him. Plastic bags terrify him. Moving too fast terrifies him. But if you need to stay warm, as long as you stay still, he is your personal heating pad. The chunky, the terrified BORTUS! Up next, the screamiest creature on the planet with the biggest eyes you've ever seen. Specially designed for running fast, smacking quick, and napping hard. First on top of every new box in the house and always out to steal your food. She's determined to be involved in all your business. The tiny, the orange peanut!
But on a side note, BORTUS just knows when his moment is. He's right here. I don't know that you've been on camera before, buddy. I have two cats, and these cats need scratchers. And I don't necessarily want to buy them because cat scratchers can be really expensive for something that they are just going to inevitably destroy. The good news is we moved recently, and so with that, I have a bunch of moving boxes. I have boxes from products and purchases that I can use up. Are you want to be in the video? Here. I have lots of boxes from products and purchases that can get used up. And so I'm going to use those to make some things for these guys. She doesn't like being picked up. But that's the idea for today. We are going to take cardboard of flat shape and make it cardboard of new shape. This was kind of fun, and I have a lot of thoughts on whether or not you should actually ever do this for yourself. So, let's get into the cardboard chaos. I don't claim to be an expert on cats or their behaviors. We just happen to have two of them. I didn't script this. This is Peanut. She is incredibly sweet, if not friendly, but not social. She doesn't always like being picked up. We'll see how long she tolerates me picking her up. But cats have two main different kinds of behaviors. As far as when it comes to scratching, cats either prefer to scratch vertically or horizontally. Do you want to go? Okay, bye, baby. Peanut primarily prefers this. This is stop chewing on my cord, please, ma'am. This is a horizontal scratcher. She likes to hop up on top of it and scratch it from here. If you hear jangling or if the camera moves, it's because she's rubbing up against my stand. Baby, please. Nope, do not chew on the cable. You little fiend. Peanut is a horizontal scratcher. Peanut prefers to scratch on top of this like that. This is a vertical scratching post. You're gonna knock over my camera. This is a vertical scratching post. This scratching post is primarily used by BORTUS. BORTUS tends to be a vertical scratching post. When she wants to scratch vertically, she scratches our couch, which is not helpful, but it kind of indicates the problem of we don't have enough scratchy things for them. These are not the only two things we have. Peanut! Peanut! Nope, you're being held for the duration of the rest of this bit. I don't know how my camera moved, so I'll scoot over this way. We need more scratchy things in the house. We have a couple other scratchers, but a lot of them are actually kind of slanted, which means they're not really fully vertical or horizontal. So there's clearly a need for scratchers. And one of the other four-legged creatures in this house is coming. Hi, baby. Hi, big boy. Oh my God, and here comes BORTUS. This is what I get for sitting on the floor. So, anyways, my cats need scratchers, and I'm gonna try to make it for them. We have a little bit of a zoo here, but this one is primarily a horizontal scratcher. This one, who's very grumpy because of his proximity to the dog, this is a vertical scratcher. He's much more friendly. Usually, he's just upset because I didn't pick him up the best. You wanna go? There you go. Goodbye. This video isn't about you. It's not. And your mom's on the floor. Welcome to my garage. So, I'm gonna get started, and the only things you need three physical things, one mental thing. You're gonna need cardboard, you're gonna need scissors or some cutting device, a hot glue gun, and the audacity. So I can't find my box cutter anywhere. So we're going to proceed with scissors until my hands tell me that this is a bad idea, which they already are, so we're gonna proceed with caution. But for a first attempt, I'm not gonna try, I'm debating. I don't know if I have enough of tall pieces of cardboard to really make the tall one that I want, so I'm gonna start by doing the super simple, cut it into a bunch of strips so that I can make it a little bit of a sandwich stacked thing to mount on the wall so I can at least have one vertical scratcher, and we'll go from there. But I've got a lot of different kinds of cardboard and some glue, so I don't know that I'm gonna film the cutting of this because there's probably gonna be a lot of swearing and it's not gonna be that interesting, but I'm just going to process this cardboard into basically, long strips. I'm probably thinking about 1.5 inches tall. I'm not really gonna measure. Is that gonna bite me? Probably. But I'm thinking about 1.5 inch strips should probably be good. And I'm gonna start with some of these pieces and go from there.
Here's a quick little montage of what I did. By processing the boxes, I meant that I took off all tape or residue of that sort that was left on the boxes and tried to break them down into the flattest, most singular panels I could. From there, I cut them in long strips, about a width sort of that I defined. Not really too precise. Again, I had to kind of cut from both sides because I was using scissors. Do not recommend using scissors for this whatsoever. And I just stacked up all the pieces that I collected. When it came time to assemble, I decided to roll. And I decided to roll because it allowed me to keep a lot of control over the one edge of it that I decided was going to be my top flat edge. And I just kind of slowly put a little bit of hot glue on the cardboard, rolled it up, put a little bit more glue down, and rolled it up, and kept going. I did make sure that all of my joints between the cardboard had extra glue on top of them to kind of secure them, so that way it would be more secure and stable, but overall, this was a very quick and very simple process.
Fun fact, sitting on the floor gets you covered in dirt, but we have a cat scratcher. I have spent, honestly, no more than an hour doing this, and that's even with scissors, and I have this. I was originally going to do the just normal, straight vertical one, but then I had an idea of rolling them together because I hadn't seen this, and this actually worked really well because if you'll notice, I actually got the front to be relatively even because the back is not. Rolling it like this allowed me to really line up, kind of the top level of it. So I do think you could do that with lining them up as well. And this is only the first one I'm gonna make. So I now get to cut some more cardboard, and I think I'm actually gonna wait until I can find my box cutter, because while this was doable, man, I don't wanna do that again. So yeah, fun fact, don't do this unless you have a box cutter. But this was successful. I'm pretty pleased with this. And I can't wait for my cats to ignore it because I actually put effort into it. There's the joke of cats, you buy something specifically for them and then that's why they don't use it because they know you tried. Yeah, I can't wait for this to be completely ignored. So I'm debating if I want to cut out a circle of cardboard and just put it on the bottom of this so it's flat on this side. I'm not really sure if it's gonna matter, if I'm just gonna leave it on the floor. So this is also a dense hockey puck. I went through a lot of hot glue. This has used a significant amount of hot glue. I don't know if other methods use less, but yeah, I alone have gone through many, many sticks of hot glue. So be warned, not only do you need a lot of cardboard, you do need a lot of hot glue. So I only used 2 boxes. Not even full boxes. Maybe they were full boxes. I don't know what they were from. My boyfriend just kind of collected cardboard for me and said, here you go. So because I told him I was doing this, and so we organized sort of cardboard pieces. I am quite pleased with cat scratcher number 1, so let's, 1, go find my box cutter, and 2, see what shape I do next. So the scratcher that Peanut likes is hollow in the middle, and in theory I understand why. It's because it means they can use less material. However, in practice of replicating it, it means that I am going to struggle because getting that kind of a perfect opening in it without kind of compromising the structural integrity of the rest of the cardboard feels like it's going to be hard. So I've sourced a few more large, like, flat boxes. We drink a lot of Spindrift in this house. Shout out to a video from last year of making earrings out of these cans. These are some nice big solid panels that I can use to kind of create the foundation, because in reality, like, the pumpkin one that she has this little divot on top so she can sit on it really nicely, and it's about that wide. So I'm gonna decompose these boxes and I think draw out a couple sketches on this in Sharpie, just so I can kind of plan like what it's gonna look like. Am I basically making another pumpkin one? Yes, but my own. So we're gonna see how that goes. So I found my box cutter. It was in like literally the most obvious place ever on my desk. But what's funny is I actually think the scissors might be better for this. I traced out the pumpkin that she currently uses, and I'm going to cut this out to be my template and maybe trace it and map it out on the board. But I'm wondering if that'll be easier to cut out with scissors versus this, but we'll find out. I have this as a tool now. So I have been a busy little bee. And so I've made all of these based on one template, so hopefully they, should all be ish the same size. And now the next step comes of actually constructing this thing, so I thought. But the original design that I'm basing this cat scratcher off of, because she already has one, has this hole in the middle. I'm debating if I want to do it. It'll be a whole lot lighter if I do, and I have some ideas of, I could then even repurpose this cardboard further. Cut it in half and then make some weird oblong, long, tall thing, which could be fun. This just already took a long time to cut out, and I'm debating how much I really want to deal with it. Luckily, the center wouldn't have to be too consistent because, it's just the center. Also, not all of these are full pumpkin shapes. Some of them are only the top half, because I think I'll have enough of the full pumpkin shapes that a couple that don't go all the way down will be just fine. So I think I'm going to spend more of my time. I think I'm going to cut the center out. I think it'll make it lighter, and then also it'll be more interesting to see what I can do with the centers. Let me just tell you, this takes forever. This, honestly, as far as like projects go, I think this is fun. It's super easy to do. This honestly takes forever. So I will let you know at the end if I think it's worth it or not, because right now I'm at a no. But I'm committed, so I'm gonna cut this out to make a new template for the weird inside bit, and I'm probably gonna cut it a little bit smaller than this, just because I want to make sure it's actually stable. I also lost my black Sharpie in the abyss that is this garage, so I have a green one now. But yeah, I'm gonna make sure that this is nice and chunky. So this, I think I'm actually gonna even make it even more inside, just because some of these are a little structurally compromised, so I don't want to screw it up. I do want this to actually be stable enough for the creature to sit atop of. So we will see. But yeah, right now, my hands hurt, I'm a little grumpy, and cardboard is stupid. So let's spend more time with it. So I made a little guide based on her actual cat scratcher. And this stack, as much as I want it to be the right height, is not quite the same height as her current cat scratcher. So that does mean I'll need these, because if we add these, we're still not like quite there, but we're much closer to the point that I'm gonna be more comfortable with it. All of these are the half kind of remaining horseshoey bits. So I don't remember how many of the tops versus the bottoms I have, and I don't remember what side's what. I'll probably make it work, because I want the top to be basically as much of a smooth surface as I possibly can. So I'm gonna finish cutting all of these out, and then we are so close to actually being able to assemble this thing, which I am looking forward to, because man, is this time consuming. But yeah, unfortunately, I do think I'll need all of these. Could I just go break down more cardboard and cut out big ones? Yeah, probably. But I already have all of this cut and, you know, here. So we're gonna do what I can with it and see how it goes. But yeah, it's a lot. And so I'm building up my stack of the inner templates as well as the outer ones. As you can see, I'm making a mess of cardboard bits. Definitely gonna have to vacuum the garage. But we're making progress. It's not too bad. I've just been putting on like a video or something and just kind of working. But yeah, we got a little bit of height to go. So we're getting there. So everything's finally cut out. And so now comes the time to decide which side is up, because I think I knew what it was at some point. I'm not sure anymore, because I want the top to be as smooth as possible. I don't really care about the bottom. So I think this is gonna be my upside, this curve. And we're only caring about the outside curve, because I guarantee you I did not cut this center shape out consistently each time. So the inside might look a little wonky, but it's really just to remove mass from the center. I don't think it'll matter that much. So basically, I'm probably going to match this shape to one of my thicker pieces, because I think I want I want to start my construction of it with a really thick piece so it's nice and stable. And then I only have a handful of those, so I'll probably just kind of stack a few thick pieces, one of those, a few thick pieces, one of those. So I got to get my hot glue gun warmed up. But yeah, I think I'm going to start figuring out the layout. I think I'll probably go ahead and make the full stack so that I can just have the stack next to me and literally just flip and glue each and every one, and I don't have to sort and figure it out while I'm dealing with my hot glue gun, whether it's hot or cold or all that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and sort my stack and then I guess get gluing.
The gluing process for this was as simple and glue intensive as it sounds. I made sure to put glue all the way around the frame. I originally just started with it on the bottom. I don't know why I was doing that. And at some points I did have to get some extra like little shims of cardboard to fill in for the gaps where just the half horseshoe was, because while the overall structure still supported itself, I ran into the issue of when I was compressing down on it, it was folding and bending, and I was resulting in a very odd lean and shape. I also did a very bad job of lining up the tops because it resulted in a very strong slant. But it did all get glued together eventually.
Finally, this abomination of a cat scratcher is finished. It was a little wobbly because it's angled. I did an absolutely terrible job of keeping it consistent because I ended up leaning it towards myself. So it's not the straightest, but you know what? It could be worse, I think. You know, the fact that this is semi-functional at all is kind of crazy, or probably will be semi-functional. I think it's big enough for her to hop up and sit on, even if, you know, it's not perfectly level. It's not quite as wide as the other one is, but it's still, I think, wide enough. And this is a relatively consistent top. And at a minimum, you know, it exists. So there's still a lot of hot glue strands and stuff on it that I'm going to try to pull off because I don't think those are the best form. I'm going to try to clean it up a little bit on the edges. But yeah, this scratcher is done. As you can see, again, I added two little, there's one on both sides to just kind of help give it some feet so it wobbles a little less because the other one is very, very sturdy. But honestly, I'm very happy that it's done because I never want to do this again. Oh my God. Not worth it. Straight up. If you ever want to repurpose cardboard, I would say just cut it into strips. Don't bother trying to make something fancy. This takes so long, and if you're not super precise with it, because I'm not, because it takes a while with a small hand cutter to be that precise and perfect. So this one wasn't worth it. I do still think I have all the scraps from it, so I think I'm gonna spend a little bit of time. I'm gonna have to go buy more hot glue. This used far too much hot glue, and that's why I would also advocate for the designs where you do not actually have to glue it and you just use compression and kind of like stick it all together and maybe just glue the full back of them at once, because otherwise it feels a little wasteful because of the amount of glue that it needs. So, you know, this is a nice idea in theory for repurposing cardboard. In practice, I'm not sold on the fancier ones. I think the simpler ones, I'm doing the cat's job right now. I think simpler ones are the better ones to go for. but I have those scraps and they're shaped and I think they might actually be somewhat useful. So I'm gonna cut them in half. I'm not gonna make this same thing. My plan is to cut them in half. I can't decide if I want to do it long ways or short ways yet, and basically just glue them up into a long stick. So I will show you whatever the outcome of that is. I'm not going to film it. I'll just show you whatever the end result is. This was interesting. I think this was a worthwhile experiment. I wanted to do something that was more than just the other ones that I've seen, and I did, and I don't know how I feel about it. So, woo! So here's the tall tower one. I haven't mounted it to the wall yet, and the large four-legged creature is asking for attention. I don't know that they're using it, so I put flat cardboard on the back to kind of give it a little bit more of a surface in case I did want to mount it. But for the time being, it exists there. I've tried to show them how to use it. I don't know that they're super interested in it, but this was really easy to put together. Didn't really take any time at all. I mean, still used glue like all the rest of them, but I got it in a pretty, straight fashion. The back is super uneven, which means that cardboard back, I'm not sure how well it will ever really mount to a wall, or it can just get knocked over and live on the ground as a long horizontal brick. So that one's also in my house now. And there is Peanut. Hi, baby. Oh. We're more interested in the fuzz that fell off it than the scratcher. Well, that's cats for you. So, the utilization result has been different. At this point in time, I haven't actually put the very vertical one up yet, so I'm not sure if they're going to use that. I can't find the command strips that I was going to put it on the wall with. But the pumpkin looking one, she loves. She's absolutely on top of it all the time.
Yeah, how you doing? Where's the peanut?
You like it?
Where's the big peanut?
That's not where it was intended to live, but I mean, if you like it.
It's kind of funny.
It is. You're so cute. Oh, look at the little slow blinks.
Where's the peanut?
Are we gonna scratch it? Or are we just gonna sit there? I don't know that I've ever seen you inside the other one. Hi. Hi, Peanut. Do you like it? Yeah? Oh, Domino. This is not the Domino show. I guess it is now. Hi, baby.
In the mornings especially, she likes using it. I put it in a corner of our bedroom that she didn't have a scratcher in before, so that she can mess with that and not our carpet. The round one, I haven't seen them use. I don't know if they use it. They might not. I'm not entirely sure where to put it. I just kind of have it in a random spot right now, so I'll probably move it around and see if they ever eventually use it. But yeah, overall, make straight lines and either roll them all together or stick them in another container box and just make the horizontal, cat scratcher. Cutting a fun shape is cool. I don't think it's worth your time, your effort, or your glue. So that's kind of the verdict on that. But this was really fun, and honestly, because it's kind of easy to do, I might do it every so often. I don't want to hoard cardboard just for the purpose of making these, but at the same time, if I have a hoard of cardboard, it might be worth making these. So, we'll see. It'll depend how it goes. If you have cats, let me know in the comments down below. Have you ever made scratchers for them? Do they like scratchers? What kind of a scratcher is your cat? Mine is anything, especially things they're not supposed to scratch. But, with all of that said, thank you so much for watching. It means the absolute world. And I will see you in the next one.